Right, so battle groups. We're getting the heavy weapons battle group with the Pershing. Terror Doctrine with the King Tiger, British Forces, the Canadian Shock Troopers with the Canadians, and the Church of Crocodile, Afrika Korps with the Elephant. Right, new maps. We get Angerville, Langras, Crossing in the Woods for 2v2. And we get another 1v1 map, the Jebel Pass. It's a brand new community made map. I have no idea what this looks like. Looking forward to trying it out. Multiplayer map, quality of life improvements. Okay, we'll just skip over these because we can, we'll figure that out when we actually get and play the game, but they're just some changes to the maps. Did they fix the door, actually, on that 2v2 map? I don't know, it doesn't say about them fixing that door. There was a door that you couldn't get access on that one of the new 2v2 maps they added in. Thought I would have fixed that. Pile of ditch was removed from Western Building's door. It was blocking access. I think that was it there. Yeah. There you go. I think they fixed that there. That's good. We'll have to test it out when we jump on in. It's 12 minutes to the patch note, guys. To the patch actually drops. Let's just turn this light on over here. Here we go. Lovely. There we go. Where can we buy that? You can buy it on the Steam store. I think $24.99 USD. Okay, US armor companies are now more effective on the attack, but rely on infantry support to protect them. Overwhelming numbers, major counterattacks, or infantry. This is for campaign. We'll skip over campaign stuff. So campaign, blah 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 blah. Right, loyalty system, blah blah blah. Music. 2 additional musical tracks have been added to the rotation in the main menu. They were selected at random, so they don't play in the same order every time. In-game music now escalates at the end of a victory point match when players are about to win or lose. This is followed by victory defeat music stingers that are now in sync with the victory defeat animation. Previously, the momentum of this music did not carry over. Okay, good. Yeah, I always thought, I'm hoping they're going to add more and more musical tracks because it feels like there's hardly any music in the game at all. It's just like one music track that's always been in for the gameplay, and then one in the main menu. But we're getting another one in the main menu, which hopefully will sound nice. So that's interesting. Hopefully that'll add a bit of variety there, with extra flavour. Audio, FX, and voiceover added new audio. Shall I zoom this in a bit actually, so you guys can read it? Right, boom, boom, boom. There you go. Is that better? Right. Added a new voiceover for the US Forces Intel announcer. Added new US Forces heavy tank voiceover. That's for the Pershing. Add a new audio cue when a quick mention audio cue versus AI starts. Cool. Got a new unique Intel voice lines for all factions for pre-existing abilities and upgrades that were using generic lines. Intel shot audio for weapons will be louder than the impacts and heard at a greater distance. The attenuation is now tuned to inform the player of the threat of the attack versus the impact. Thank you, Bill Bort. Thank you much for the follow there. What I'll do is I'll probably turn my alerts off just while I go read the patch notes because I probably want to pop these onto YouTube later. Adding hotkeys for toggling live stats and replays and observer, as well as for switching views in tournament mode. The leaderboards search box will now display a spinning icon to indicate a search is in progress. Okay, some little quality of life changes here, which is nice. The default keyboard profile view event queue has been changed from delete end to control space. Update the in-game credits for the year 2 of Company Heroes 3. Right, and then we've got multiplayer changes. Here we go, this is what we wanted to look at. The pathing. Inverted pathing changes back to pre 1.9 values. Okay. Maybe the changes that they made in the recent patch, the current patch, was not good enough and they're going back. Maybe. Okay, I guess we'll... can't remember what it was beforehand, so yeah, we'll see. It seems like a strange change. I think pathing was not great still, but I mean, if the old version was better, then fair enough. End-game structure cost changes. End-game tech structure costs have been increased to give mid-game vehicles a bigger window to operate. It was previously too easy to tech into the final tier to punish builds that revolved around light vehicles. Do note that the increase is not equal to all factions. So US focus so the tank depot for US is now 25 more. Then you got the Wehrmacht one, which is 25 more as well. British is only 10. And only 10 increase there for the deck. So yeah, late game stuff is going to take a little bit longer to come out, which is okay, I guess. It's going to make a lighter game, early mid game vehicles like I guess the Flat Feeling, Greyhounds, Chaffies, Humbers, Stuarts, all that kind of stuff have a bit more of an impact, basically, things like that. Demolition charges and Goliaths. Demolition charges in the glass are having the area effect increased to make these traps more devastating when units are not directly on top of them. Previously, players could detonate demolition charges near enemy units and deal lackluster damage despite appearing to be very powerful explosion and the weapon's role as an active trap. Fixed an issue with the area of effect did not match the blast radius. So how significantly has it been changed? Okay, it's doubled the mid-range. Yeah, it's pretty significant actually. Even like the outer range is pretty, it's only 0.05 difference between mid and long range. So that is definitely a big buff to them. Near area damage distance increased from 1.25 to 2 as well. Yeah, so yeah, their Goliaths are going to be a lot better. Well, they'll have a much bigger explosion now, which is pretty sick. So they're going to be, we might see a lot more usage of them. So that's going to be a buff to espionage, battle group for the DAC, and I guess engineers for Americans, things like that. Welcome to the stream, guys. Just tuned in. We're going over the patch notes right now before the update is live in 7 minutes. Heavy machine gun bunkers, fighting positions, heavy machine gun nests. Nearby special model increased. They just buffed the bunkers and stuff. Okay, they did feel a little bit meh, so that's fair enough. Capturing construction. Units can no longer capture points and construct at the same time. Any progress will be paused until construction is complete. So this is one I thought was a stupid idea initially. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it feels. I kind of like building cover anyway. You'll notice I played a game yesterday where I went coastals and I like to build a load of sandbags around my med bunker. This will buff that kind of playstyle up because I'm trying to secure, while they're getting reinforced and healing, I'm going to use that time for them just to lock down and solidify maybe like a forward point with sandbags and wire and stuff. So that kind of buffs that build up. But yeah, though this will be nerfing, I guess, like sapper starts and things like that and multiple engineer starts because they're not going to get that early bonus where they can go forward, capture and build the defense at the same time. So it's interesting, but we'll see how that goes. Also, yeah, barbed wire now will also block ultralight vehicle movement. So ultralight vehicle, I would consider this to be things like jeeps, dingoes, the crash and shooting the DAC motorcycle, things like that. So that's interesting. And then light vehicles like greyhounds, I guess any kind of half-track vehicle probably will get slowed down on stuff. So I guess we'll have to test that all out and see how much of an impact that could be. I wonder if what you could do is you could you get dived in by a dingo, then you can wire behind it so it can't escape, kind of thing. I don't know if that's possible. I hope this will only count for completed barbed wire. If this doesn't count for, if this counts for like half-built structures, I can see it being exploited. But I guess we'll have to test it. Reinforced barbed wire build time now reduced by 1.5 seconds. Now slows heavy vehicles that can crush it. Ooh, interesting. Sandbags. 4 seconds faster, and now damaged more by grenades. We did see in that recent teaser for the Canadian shock troops that grenades from them were doing some significant damage to the squads behind green cover, and behind sandbags. So, interesting. Looks like green cover is not going to be as good for protecting you from grenades now. Tank traps build time's also been reduced by 3 seconds. Cover spot width reduced as well, so they're not going to be utilized more for cover. It's reduced the amount of coverage you'll get now from a tank trap. Spacing when built successfully increased. Okay. Neutral buildings. We have reduced the health of medium and large garrison buildings by 25%. This change is independent of the following changes affecting specific weapon bonuses versus buildings. We've also reduced the health of each section of all buildings, causing buildings to enter a visually damaged state early into combat. An example would be a shell from a Sherman creating a sizable hole. Roof tiles have been dramatically reduced in health to help express that the building has sustained damage from the default camera height. Okay. Mortar damage against neutral buildings, ambient buildings has been reduced as well. So mortars don't do as much damage now. Let's try to kind of offset the 25% nerf to health. Alternatively, demolition charges and Goliaths were found to be dealing insignificant damage to buildings and bridges, despite that being their core purpose, and they've now got an extra 50% bonus against buildings and stuff, which is huge. Is that neutral buildings as well? Just as buildings. Is that all kind of buildings? Is that enemy structures as well, like bunkers and stuff? And paradrop planes will no longer be targeted by anti-air units. When paradrop paradrop planes were made invulnerable, they still remain targetable, allowing them to draw fire from AA units. The following changes prevents these units from being targeted and acting like decoys. Okay, that's a good that is a buff to like anti-air units, because if paradrop planes are invulnerable, you don't want your air units shooting them, because you want them prioritizing maybe other things like loiters and stuff, and ground targets. So that's actually pretty handy. So yeah, they'll be more useful there. Button abilities: the debuff duration for deflection and penetration hits increase from 5 to 7.5, so 2.5 second buff. The debuff was too short for most units that needed to trigger the effect through an ability. Increased duration to make it harder for button units to escape. Okay, so buff to any unit that can provide button. Tank machine guns. Why are paradrops planes invulnerable? I didn't actually realize that either. I didn't realize. I don't remember ever seeing in the patch notes whether they made planes or planes that provide paradrop troopers are invulnerable. Yeah, I never remember that. Find a moment to pause and buy and DLC. Yes. Is it available now? Let me just pause for 2 seconds while I go get the DLC myself. So for me, it's £19.50. So we buy it. Alright, let's get it, because as soon as I'm ready, we're going to buy this. Okay, I'm just buying it on my other monitor real quick. Bear with me a second. Alright, and I guess I'm going to restart Cove 3 so it does the update. Just going to exit Steam and restart Steam to force it to look for an update. Hey, Colonel Me, how you doing? And we should be downloading hopefully right now. Yes, update queued, update go. How big is the update? It is. Wait for it. What's saying? 2.8 gigabytes. Not that bad. That shouldn't take me too long to download, hopefully. If I can keep that 4.95 megabyte download speed, I should be able to download it within a few minutes. That's good. By the time we do the patch notes, we'll be ready to go. Right, okay. £20. Well, you're getting 4 battle groups. I think £20 is a reasonable price. You're getting 4 battle groups. If you think back to the days of Company Heroes 2, you'd be paying about £5 per battle group anyway, or per commander anyway, pretty much. So I think £20 is a reasonable ask. It is a significant update to the game. I mean, it's not a full DLC like a new faction, but I think £20 is not crazy. If it was like $39.99, then yeah, I'd have had words. But I mean, £20 I think is a reasonable price, to be honest. Anyway, let's get back to the patch notes here. So on tank machine guns, so we are increasing the damage per second for the majority of tank machine guns, which include the pintle mounts. These weapons were found to be lacking against infantry, and we did not want to increase the anti-infantry potency of tank guns. This will also increase the importance of keeping the front of the tank facing the enemy to maximize the unit's firepower. Nice. So it's the pintle machine guns. That's the machine gun upgrade you'd be getting for the Panzer IVs and stuff. Oh, excuse me. And then you can get to see the accuracies going up, which is cool. Yep, so everything seems to be getting a buff there. Wow, lots of stuff. Tilde, Panzer IV, Panzer IIIs. Yep, Chetrals as well. Right, vehicle holds and tank rate. We are reducing some of the limitations regarding tank riding to make it easier to use. The changes include weapon auto-targeting no longer being disabled, as players want their vehicle to engage troops upon contact and overlap with the hold fire ability. The horizontal traverse limit has also been increased on turret vehicles to make it easier to track targets while units are on board. Note that infantry would still dismount if the tank enters combat. Yeah, that's fine. So loading distances increased from 1 to 5 for all vehicles. Turret rotation increased from 8 to 60. Nice. Tank riding no longer causes vehicles to be on hold fire. Load time standard. Yep, that's it. That's good. Some nice quality of life change for tank riding. Cool. The global and heavy medium change. All medium heavy vehicles take 33% increased damage on rear armor hits. Great. I think that's a really good change. Encourages people to flank, you know, and get rewarded for executing well, really good flanks and stuff like that. Medium and heavy tanks, guns. Movement, scatter, angle, distance standardized to 1.5. Sensor, which is unaffected, does not impact the autocannon weapons like Crusader. Most tank guns have had their scatter on the move increased to a new standardization of 50% from generally 33. This is to better differentiate the performance of stationary and non-stationary vehicles to promote more positional play. Okay, guess we'll have to see how that feels when we play. Then we're on to US. We're already 48% done on the update, guys, so we're ready to go. Get involved as soon as we've done here. The standard fighting position is often only used as a garrison unit until it can be upgraded. The following change encourages an unupgraded fighting position by allowing players to refund the majority of their cost while the position is no longer needed. Ooh, interesting. Salvage fighting position. That's for it's the American changes. Interesting, because you can okay, that might be an interesting kind of like early game start idea, you know, like you sometimes see with the full pyres being dropped in and then they build that kind of fighting nest like made out of wood, right? This might be something Americans might do with their engineers or something like that early game potentially. But I kind of wish the full pyres could maybe refund 75% of the manpower invested into the fighting position, because they're not that great either. It's kind of an interesting idea anyway. So the Air Support Center, a new upgrade. Improved aircraft armor replaces air supply upgrade. Increase the health of all aircraft by 50%. Cost 100 manpower. Dude, this is if you go airborne with Air Support Center, that's massive. That's gonna make them. That's potentially gonna allow like loiters and stuff to get another strafe off potentially, because of that. So that's pretty damn nasty. And then the reconnaissance upgrade health bonus, the Grasshopper recon players is also an extra 500 health for the Grasshopper as well, which is huge, interesting. And then I guess it's not just like airborne. I guess if you go for the special operations with the SF commanders, you got like an anti-infantry loiter there, things like that as well. So that could be interesting. Mechanized, right. We've noticed that the outcome of having more expensive upgrade half-track options in the Weapon Support Center is not great, as it heavily promotes spam while also somewhat decentralizing varied vehicle play. The goal of this change is to make the Mechanized Support Center more conducive to general light vehicle play by removing the cost premium of the additional options. Upgraded half-track variants are now unlocked in Motorport instead of Weapon Support Center, and the quad is a bit cheaper as well because of it, and so is the 75. Interesting. So I guess if you like going late game, like the 80 half tracks, it's more viable because if you get the motorpool out, like, you know, they're cheaper, like in the long run kind of thing, which is quite nice. Which can be an interesting build, because I played a game I actually uploaded just today on YouTube where I used like 480 half tracks, and you know, if I had the motorpool up, I would have definitely been able to have more of them because of this kind of new change here. So that's interesting. The fuel cost though of the Weapon Support Center has gone up by 5. The repair speed of the forward repair depot that you get from Mechanized Support Center has gone up by 2, so make that a little bit better. And scouts also gone up by 10 seconds. Yes, slowing down the early build. This will also slow down Pathfinder builds that were building 3 to 4 scouts and then converting them to avoid the longer build time. Yeah, so nerf to the scout start, but we've been seeing a lot in 1v1. The M19 machine gun teams, improved defense up, 30% damage reduction bonus, only triggers in cover or garrisons. Makes sense, yep, there's a bit of nerf there. The M3 armored personnel carrier, we have increased the build time of the M3 to weaken the rush timing and give the opposition more time to prepare. We've also refreshed one of the veterancy abilities to this unit, which was previously underused. So the M3 armor personnel carrier, that's just the standard half track, isn't it, that you convert. All features has now caused the half track to place down a free fighting position at the target location that will construct itself over 15 seconds. Oh, interesting. A 3, 4, 5 position. That's interesting. And the medical variety, 4 or 5 positions changes to advanced medical crews, increases the medical aura healing rate. Ooh, an extra 0.8 healing. That's nice. Okay, cool, cool. Then this is this is the AT half track. So tuckweed point ability has been adjusted to be a target ability with a single shot to prevent this unit from stun locking enemy vehicles while still dealing good anti-tank damage. Now only fires one shot and is a targeted ability. Tuckweed point, it no longer shares a cooldown with barrages. Okay, cool. And then the Greyhounds, the side skirt has been reduced by 20 minutes, so a buff to the Greyhound. Chaffee, buff to the Chaffee is 30 manpower cheaper. The Chaffee is receiving several changes to increase its fireability without raising raw damage potential through better mobility and lower cost. We have also given this unit a smoke shot ability, allowing the Chaffee to support other units on the battlefield. Rotation rate and pivot rate is increased, so it's better at circling and strafing around other enemy tanks. New ability is smoke, so that's a handy ability, like the Cromwell kind of thing from Co 2. Vet 1 acceleration bonus replaced with 35% turret traverse speed. And Vet 2 turret traverse bonus space replaced with 2% accuracy. Okay. Near penetration reduced by 10. Okay. It's a little bit of a nerf. Sherman's near penetration has got a nerf by 40. As part of some vehicle adjustments, we are lowering the penetration of this unit as it's briefly too high against targets like Mother Mediums at point blank. Okay. Hellcat, near penetration, also been reduced by 50. The Hellcat is having its point blank penetration adjusted to be in line with other tank destroyers. In exchange, we have corrected an issue with the HVAP and made the speed boost from scoot and shoot significantly stronger. Okay, so yeah, big change there. Increased from 25 to 50%. Okay. I'll have to see. I'm 66 on the download right now. I'm updating files. I think I've done the download, just need to update all my files now. Assault engineer squads. In the early game, combined with the updated weapon support center, could create cheap and difficult compositions to crack in the early game, allowing the US to snowball. We are slightly reducing their close range damage and increasing their reinforcements, so it's a little less efficient at the start of the game. So nerf to assault engineers. 4 manpower more to reinforce as well. The Scots, they are now another command point. That's a nerf to that specific build that I used to hate fighting against, so that's good. They take longer to come out now. The Easy 8, command point costs from 0 to 1, so Easy 8s aren't going to be able to come out as straight away. And then field repairs has gone down by 1, okay, to maybe make up for that. Rangers, Veterancy 2 rate of fire bonus has been increased by 20. A buff to Rangers? Really? Did they really need it? What? Okay, that's a strange. I always thought Rangers were already pretty goddamn good. Why did they need another 5% on top of what they already have? That just seems like a really strange choice. I don't think anybody was like, yo, Rangers need a buff. So, and for some reason they have received another buff. That makes no sense, but okay. It's not a huge buff, but still. SF Commandos, their health has gone up by 5. I mean, they are a very expensive squad, so an extra 5 health on those guys. To incentivize this ability against raiding flares, we are making smokescreen free, but with a longer cooldown, giving players who go this option a ready available smoke drop for major engagements. Interesting. So it's a 3-minute cooldown instead of a 2-minute cooldown. The raiding flares, though, are really good, though, as well, because it gives you a lot of vision across the map. I still think people will probably always pick raiding flares, but, I mean, this may be a little bit more of an incentive to pick the option. Marked vehicle plane, health increased by an extra 500 for the marked vehicle plane. So I think that is for the major marked vehicle, right? He does, I think, right, if I'm correct on that. Pack howitzer, White Phosphorus barrage wind down speed, been reduced, and the scatter's gone up. So up the fire rate, but the white frost is going to be a little bit more spread than the damage over time to cover the white. So actually, this is actually more of a buff to. This is quite a big buff to the pack howitzer. The whiz. Okay, here we go. What is the whiz bang getting? Rocket launcher vertical traverse speed has gone up. Standard reload time has gone down. Ready aim time down, so it fires faster and everything. Any range increase, long range barrage no longer shares cooldown with the main barrage. So you could do double barrages Long-range barrage cost is increased by 50 munitions. Okay, so this is kind of to match somewhat match the Stuka, because the Stuka also doesn't have a shared cooldown. So they've just made I mean, the Whizbang will be better for sure because of this, but I still feel like it needed a bit more, maybe slightly bit more range, if anything. But it will be able to like find an enemy target and shoot and fire faster now, which is pretty important. But yeah, I'm not convinced that the double barrage meta for these late game heavy hitters that have a high chance of wiping squads is a good thing. You know, like I think they should share a cooldown. Potentially something like that, or like have like if you fire one, you have a cooldown, but it isn't like a full cooldown. It's like a half a cooldown of what you normally would have, or something like that. Something like that. So you can't just do like 2 barrages straight after each other, which can be devastating. Like I know, like the double fire barrage, like against anyone that's got like a static emplacement, like a 105 howitzer for Americans, you can do a Stuka barrage for the normal barrage on it, and then follow that up straight away with a creeping barrage on it, and you can wipe it literally without your opponent having any time to repair it. It's pretty goddamn broken. So yeah, and that has not been addressed, and it seems like the Whizbang is going to have the same kind of thing now as well. I don't think it'll kind of be not parried. It will be matched in that regard, but still, I don't think that's the way we should be going with those barrages. In all honesty. Okay, now on to the Wehrmacht side skirts. Now available in Luftwaffe or Panzer, so Tier 2 and Tier 3 after support elements has been upgraded. Now benefits the Panzer IV command tank. Hey, even though whoever made the Panzer IV command tank, no one did. MG42 suppression's gone up by a little bit, very minute about, by a bullet though, so that's kind of scales with each bullet. The PGs Veteran C2 rate of fire bonus increased from 25 to 35%. Okay, so they get a buff, 10% buff. Automatic fire speed penalty decreased from 60 minimum and 85 maximum to 35 and 70. Okay. This will give them a better chance against things like Rangers and stuff as well. If Rangers are getting a 5% buff, PGs are getting a 10% buff, so they actually get a 5% buff overall. So PGs versus Rangers, they'll do a bit better than what they were currently. The Wirbelwind has got an accuracy increase. Cool. The Stug 3G, the penetration of the Stug has gone up. So hopefully this will be more reliably penetrating things like Matildas, potentially Churchills, maybe, things like that. Panzer IV's focus fire ability rework now provides a 40% rate of fire for 15 seconds. Once ability has been completed, the unit speed and rotation rate is 50% slower for 15 seconds afterwards. Beforehand, I'm pretty sure when you activated this, it would slow its speed, right? Remember, in Code 2, you activated their ability like Axis tanks, and they'd have blitzkrieg. They would go faster. But now it was different. And now they've changed it and removed the speed nerf. RF5 was with no penalties. Giving it vulnerable if it cannot win or escape an engagement. That's interesting. I kind of like that change. Because you won't see many people use, though, the Panzer IV's abilities. Same thing with like a Grant as well. You won't use the Grant's ability. Because it also made it slow and you can't really get out of the fight if you need to. But here you can get in there, get the kill, and then pull away before before you lose that buff, that 15-second buff. So it's interesting. Right, we're on to the Brummbär. Right, the Brummbär was too effective against vehicles on direct hits due to penetration high damage. We're reducing its damage. Now has a 25% damage penalty against vehicles, dealing only 120 damage from 160. Penetration, okay, that's okay. You weren't expecting that, but you don't really use a Brummbär to fight vehicles anyway, so it shouldn't really be doing that. It's supposed to be an anti-infantry vehicle. If anything, can maybe kill some half-tracks or something like that. Tigers. Time fuse shot replaced with S-mine launchers. This change standardizes both Tigers and gives the Wehrmacht Tiger a viable ability. Hey! The Wehrmacht Tiger now gets the S-mine launchers. We used the S-mine launcher on Saturday to kill pretty much 2 SSF guys that jumped onto my Tiger, my DAC Tiger. Now we'll have the ability to do it with normal Tigers for Wehrmacht. I much prefer the S-mine launchers are such a good ability to murder infantry that surrounds the Tiger, which is pretty sick. So I like that ability. All right, now on to coastals. The manpower cost from the officer has gone down by 30. Okay. That's pretty significant. And build time bonus increased from 25 to 30. Sandbags now built at the same speed as of all other infantry prior to their bonus build speed. Okay. So they do still get a bonus to build speed compared to everything else still. Designated line defenses is gaining a boost to improve nearby bunkers to make this ability synergize with other elements of the coastal background. Now affects nearby bunkers. Interesting. Okay, cool. And then the Obiche. This ability brings the Obiche up to the levels of other howitzers. Efficiency 3 damage reductions increase from 15. Okay, so it's a bit more durable Vet 3, basically. Now to Luftwaffe, full powers. Okay, the MG upgrade's gone down by 10. And I think is this them nerfing? This is the grenade launcher. Aim time modifier reduced. Fire damage is increased. No, the threat against units at heavy. No, it's a buff. Last we get. Okay, so this is making the grenade launcher much better against units in cover and in buildings and stuff. Too many updates. Yeah, I'm trying to go through this fairly quickly because we want to get into testing it as quickly as possible, guys. We've gone through Americans. We're almost finished Wehrmacht. We've still got 2 more factions to go through. Stuka Loiter. We are reducing the damage of most anti-tank loiters, so follow-up is required to capitalize on the damage. Anti-vehicle plane bonus damage to vehicles reduced from 125% to 40%. What? Anti-vehicle strength no longer pins or suppress infantry. Well, that's a huge freaking nerf. Massive nerf to the Stuka Loiter. I hope if that is a serious nerf. That is a massive nerf. If this is applied to the Stuka Loiter, I would expect the Loiter, all Loiters to be nerfed. If it's just for the Wehrmacht Loiter, that would be unfair. But I imagine this is for all Loiters. If they're seriously nerfing the ability of the Loiters to do damage, they should reduce their cost a bit as well. Excuse me. Mechanized battle group. So the Panther now costs a command point to be able to make in your tier 4. The Wesp, here we go. The Wesp has an issue where regular barrage was more effective than intended. This change has been reverted, and tracking barrage has also been adjusted to be less accurate. Cost additional munitions, and a projectile will take longer to hit the target. The fuel cost has also been increased as this unit only requires command points to unlock. Okay, so yeah, big nerfs to the Wesp. Scatter, distance tracking, yeah. Fuel cost 15. 15 munition more cost for tracking barrage. Okay. Don't think there's a range decrease, but yeah, okay. So the Wesp isn't going to be as accurate and it's going to cost more and everything. So we'll see how that. Hopefully it's not an over nerf to the Wesp so it doesn't become redundant, but we'll see. Now we're on to the Brits. So the 25-pounder base howitzer. Right, the base howitzer was ineffective against stationary targets, having a longer delay prior to firing, limited payload, and slow rate of fire. To address these issues, we're increasing the number of shells, speeding up how quickly the base howitzer starts firing and increasing its rate of fire. Now starts deployed and no longer needs to tear down to face targets. Cool. Reduce ready aim time. Okay, so it gets fires faster. Yeah, fire faster. Update weapon, no area effects. Increasing its damage. 2 more extra shots in the barrage. Okay, so this will be a buff. So if you're using the Dingo ability to drop a barrage or the Recce section to drop a barrage, this is the barrage. This is what you're getting, the Forward Observer barrage. So that's a buff. So that'll make the Dingo's barrage and the Recce section barrage a bit more powerful now. So you don't always just no-braining go into maybe Bren sections potentially now, because you might want to get a couple of Recce sections to get some more usage out of this barrage ability that's now received a buff. So onto light vehicle training, we have adjusted this upgrade to focus more on the utility aspect of British light vehicles, which rely on their abilities while still providing a considerable offensive bonus. So actually, rotation acceleration replaced with the following 25% rate of fire and 25% recharge. Ooh, so with the recharge, that'll mean you'll be able to do the Dingo forward observer ability more often. So again, that buffs this up as well. So that's cool. Interesting. Sections. Having their close range damage and the beta fires increased to make it harder to rush sections when they are in good positions, particularly during the early to mid game phase. We've also adjusted the Boyd's AT rifle so it benefits more from rate of fire bonuses that unit gets at later veterancy levels. Yeah, because it does seem a bit, it kind of like the AT sections only seem to be good early, and then they kind of really become redundant later on when they can't really do much damage against mediums and above. So that makes them a little bit better, which is a good change, I think. So yeah, and they're getting it's a bit better at near accuracy as well. Okay, so sections get buffed. Platoon command post, 40 manpower cheaper. Cool. Stewart, 5 fuel cheaper as well. Cool. The CMP truck, which you can convert to the ambulance or the Polston anti-tank variant, is been reduced by 40. And its population cap's gone down by 1. Okay, so buff to that. Guards, they've got a buff by 5%, similar to what the Rangers got. Same thing, Veterancy 2 bonus. 70 pounders, nice increase in their penetration. That's probably there so that they can now reliably pen King Tigers, I imagine, because they're now in the game. So, some reason, my game is stuck on 98%, and it's saying it's going to take 8 days and 7 minutes and 80 seconds. It's not installing any further than that. But maybe I need to restart. Is anyone else game doing this? Oh, it's disappeared. Well, we haven't gone through all the patch notes. We'll give it a minute. So maybe it's just taking a second. We'll give it a minute. We're still got to go through some patch notes. Maybe it's just being silly. Right. Gurkhas, Thompsons have gone up by 0.5. Heavy machine gunnists, 50 manpower cheaper. Pretty significant. The Arch Tank Destroyer, fuel cost has been reduced significantly by 15. Can now fire while moving. Oh, okay, now the Archer is worth... Yes, that's big. And a big buff to them. Archer is receiving a cost reduction due to low health. We're now allowing this unit to fire on the move. Ooh. Okay, that's huge. Archers, they're going to be really tasty. It's going to make Australian Commander now very juicy. Very good. Especially with over repair as well. Woo. 17 pounder replacement. Penetration has gone up as well. The sandbag with defensible has been reduced as well by 4 seconds. That's the big sandbags the Australian sections I believe built. Air and sea. The naval bombardment has gone up by 3 command points. That's significant. Assault flares as well has gone up by 3. Bloody hell. Command support section, Veterancy 2. Ability recharge bonus, move to Veterancy 3 and increase from 25. Oh, it's done. My code's done. Let's launch it. Play code 3. The pack counts the team. Foster's wide down as well, so buff to that as well. Centaurs now built at the company command post rather than being called in. Command point costs reduced from 4 to 1, so it's a big buff to that. It's now cheaper as well. Reduced pop cap, yeah, another buff. Veterancy 2 Traverse is replaced with just the Centaur to now require the company command post. I mean, that's a nerf to it, but still, it's a lot cheaper than... Okay, so we'll see how good the Centaur is because of that. Okay, the Typhoon Loiter now. Here we go. The Typhoon anti-tank Loiter suffers from its ability to hit moving targets due to the lack of area effect damage. Slow projectile speed and the rockets having a predictable line. Change has been made that reduce the raw damage but increase area effect damage and unpredictability of rocket scatter will ensure enemy vehicles in the air take some damage from this ability even when moving. Right. Interesting. Oh yeah, and we've got a poll in chat, guys. Please vote now. What commander do you guys want to see me play in? You guys get to choose right now in chat. Any suggestions of which commander you guys want me to see? Say so now. And we'll play with whatever commander you guys want me to play first. Armor Belt Group. Veterancy bonus rate increased from 25 to 33. Engineers gone from 1 to 2. Mass and replace, yeah, okay. Churchill tank. Every tank and Churchill Black Prince. New ability, emergency combat repairs. Disables the main gun and reduces speed by 50% for 12 seconds. Once the duration ends, the unit gains 320 health. Interesting. So it has to, like, you have to, like, wait until the 12 seconds up before you gain the health, the extra increase of health. Interesting. Black Prince Veterancy 3 adds additional 120 to the healing. So to that bonus. Replaces previous Veterancy bonus regarding vehicle critical repair. Okay. And then the Churchill is 40 manpower cheaper as well. The Black Prince. We want to distinguish the Black Prince from other heavy tanks, where it is one of the slowest vehicles in the game, but still has an advantage over the faster Tiger. We have made changes to side armor, and now the unit cannot be slowed by cruise shock critical. We have also adjusted the unit to lean more towards the anti-tank role, but it still will pose a significant threat to enemy infantry through stronger machine guns and general main gun damage output. Side armor. Massive, huge bonus to side armor. Look at that. 100 extra side armor for that. Now immune to shock criticals, so anything like you lob a snare on it, you know when it got a slow with that from a snare, it won't apply anymore, right? I would assume. Or is the shock critical something else that I'm thinking of, or is that like a white phosphorus round or something hitting it from like an 221? Maybe something like that. Reload speed sped up as well, so it shoots faster. And it's one, yeah. So black. That's a pretty good buff to the Black Prince. Yes, the yellow triangle. Hmm. Can it now receive a damage engine then? So like you normally lob right now in Company Heroes 3 chat, if you lob an AT grenade, and then you get any vehicle will receive a yellow triangle saying it's got a slowed, right? A temporary slow, right? Like it's been shocked. If you lob another one while that yellow triangle is up, whatever vehicle it is, you can guarantee the next one will give it a damage engine, right? If now the Black Prince has got this immunity to the yellow one, it won't ever have that in the first place, therefore you can't get the second one off to give it a damage engine. So that's pretty big for the Churchill. So it's going to be really, unless it runs into a mine, it's going to be really hard just to give it a damage engine now. As long as it keeps its health above, like, what was it, 80% or, like, yeah, above 50, 60, 70%. Alright, Crusader AA. Fuel cost is cheaper. Damage has gone up. Reader gone up. And buffs there as well. Repair assembly. Position swap with the Crusader AA medium tank. Right, on to the DAC. The last one. DAC. We have made changes to the grenade launcher, improving its anti-garrison and anti-cover performance, pushing the weapon into the role of a long-range flamethrower, made additional launch units from cover. I really like this. The weapon is also available earlier due to its high cost and limitations of it being on the support unit. Well, we might see Panzer Pioneer spam if this is really good. Grenade launcher no longer has tech requirements available at the start of the game. How much munitions is it? Yeah, pretty big buff there. Panzer Grenadiers. Double the mechanized advance duration as well. 5% bonus on the assault grens. Gustatori as well. Get the extra 5%. So again, it seems like all elite squads, like Rangers, Foot Guards, and I guess kind of CQC squads are all getting that 5% rate of fire bonus of Vet 2. The med truck, 1 population cheaper. Mechanized has gone up by 25 manpower. So that's coining on the Pack 38 with the 250. So that's gone up significantly by 25. Okay. And the Stuka, fuel cost has gone up by 15. Is that the only change to make to it? That's the only change to the Stuka? No. That's not enough. Only 15 fuel more? Like, yeah, I think it needed maybe a bit more of a fuel cost because it was that good, but, like, it needed, like, some kind of nerf to its cooldown or, like, its ability to fire 2 barrages in, like, you know, straight after each other. That's not enough for me. Working as intended. I really don't think that this is a good idea, chat. Well, I mean, it's a step in the right direction, but it needs a bit more of a nerf, and we'll probably see it get nerfed again in the future. Panzer 3's turret traverse speeds increased significantly. So, Vet 1 of the Panzers to better fit the Afrikakorps mobile gameplay. Rapid fire ability rework now provides 50% rate of fire. It's the same as the Panzer 4s, what we saw with the Wehrmacht. That's cool. Semavente. Yo, let's see what a Semavente gets. No one makes a Semavente. It's receiving major adjustments to improve its anti-armor and anti-infantry performance and to improve its efficiency against both target types. Prior to these changes, the unit had to compensate with specialist vehicles in the DAC roster while having all the weaknesses of a fixed weapon and mediocre firepower. 20 manpower cheaper. Penetration significantly increased. At least to a standard 150 across the board. So it's going to be better. So this is long mid. So long mid would be better, but it's worse close pen. But you kind of want to keep it at range anyway because it is a kind of a squishy, you know, vehicle. It's not like that well armored and it's quite slow, so you want to keep it at distance. Reload speed to 3, 5. Barrage damage decreased by 20. Okay, so buffs to all the barrages. Heat rounds renamed to target weak. Oh, we get target weak point now. Interesting. Okay, anti-tank incendiary ammunitions. Burn damage reduced for 2% maximum life per second to 1.5. So a bit of a nerf to that from just espionage. Then we've got armor support, Stuka anti-tank loiter. Again, another big nerf to this loiter. Reduced from 125 to 40%. No longer pins or suppresses infantry. So yeah, it seems like both major anti-tank loiters have been nerfed, I think. So the other one was yeah, it was the other was the British one, I think. The other one, the American one, I can't remember. But yeah, those big anti-tank loiters have been had a serious nerf to them now, which is good because loiters just do feel like a you know, I can't micro myself, so I'm going to let the AI do it for me. I'm just going to click a win button and drop it here, and the planes will just kill the tanks for me, kind of thing. You know, they should help you, but shouldn't do the entire job for you, kind of thing. So, yeah, I like nerfs to loiters because loiters are like a no skill ability, right? You just drop it and it just does the job. Doesn't matter. Anybody can just take advantage of that, regardless of your skill level. Loiter seemed like a cheat code. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah. Right, heavy machine gun nest. These changes put the machine gun bunker in line with other defenses. Cost down to 20 by 20 manpower. No, not as good suppression, but the cone has got a little bit better. Essence editor. Right, we are continuing to gradually roll out improved editor. What's this all about then? These new assets will be available for Essence editor for our modding for our community mappers. If you're interested in creating your own maps, this is just maps, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and then bug fixes. Well, we could read through all the bug fixes, but I think, like you guys, let's just get straight into the game. So guys, that's the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did and want more content, check up over here and over here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, make sure to click the button down here. To catch the next video, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.